You can't turn your phone while recording.
I think you have to do it once we clicked on, then we've got to go sideways. Let's try.
Okay, well I'm live now. Let's see. Jump in. Bye. Allow guess.
Don't need to do it on Novak.
Yeah, I'm. So I think it's so dark. Good morning, Luke. How you going? Just connecting. Good morning, Jeff. We had a bit of issues. Our Zoom's not working, so I'm just waiting for Mark to jump in. I can see Mark. Here he is. Is this a crack? Let's start again. Let me try it this way. Let's do it this way, Luke. Adding Mark in.
Hey.
Mark, how you going?
Yeah, good. Do you want to try to go sideways?
No, it's already late. It's already
So aggressive.
So aggressive.
So aggressive.
Yeah.
So aggressive. So this morning we're talking about...
Wait, make sure everyone can hear. Luke, Jeff,
a-
sounds all good. Obviously, we're not on the normal setup. It just wouldn't connect. Just give us a thumbs up. I like if you can
Give me
hear
a
us.
thumbs up, guys. Give me
Give
a
us
thumbs,
a thumbs up.
Come
Yep,
on,
all
guys.
good.
Come on, girls.
Thanks, guys.
Hey.
Alrighty.
So this morning we want to talk about getting advice from people that aren't equipped to give you the advice.
Yeah.
Getting advice from people that don't have the advice you want, but they're happy to give you the advice that you want, but they haven't got what you want.
And what we mean by that is, so basically, and like there's a couple of agents here, how many times have you go to a property, you meet a buyer, you go through pros and cons, and let's face it, everyone's pretty transparent these days, and it's like, that's a good thing, or this is what this means, or this is great, whatever it is. Then the buyer's like, yep, they agree, and then they go home, they have a barbecue, family dinner, and then they get told 15 different things, and then they come back to you and they're like, that's not true, this is that, and fucking you're like, where did all this come from? And so that's what this is, like the ideal, this is what we're talking about. And a lot of the time, if we would say, okay, so who told you that? And they're like, oh, my mate Jimmy. Well, so how many properties does Jimmy have? Oh, he's got none. Oh, so is he a real estate agent? No, he's a bricklayer. So is he's what, like, and then you sort of dig a bit deeper and you're like, this guy or this lady or this person, they really don't really have that insight to be giving that advice, and you're taking it like it's the Bible. That's what do you think, Mark? Like,
Oh, look, I'll give you a typical example. The word financial planner.
yeah.
Like, again, okay, when you say to me financial planner, I think, that person is going to plan my world, my financial world. Now, the financial planner can sometimes know jack shit. The financial planner can sometimes only have knowledge in the stock market, or only have knowledge in bank like stocks.
Yep.
Or shit, or they're not property centric people. They're just not. So you don't go to a financial planner and they force properties down your throat. They're always forcing investment shares down your throat.
Because they also get a clip of every transaction it shares. Like, if you're advising a client to buy a property, it's really one transaction, but you can, I've got a lot of buddies in the industry, it's like, buy this stock, now buy this one. They're going to clip every transaction as well. So I think always be wary of
that's right. And if they
sell you
a property, if a financial advisor pushes you towards property, they may get a clip at the beginning, and that's it. If a financial advisor gives you advice on buying some sort of stock or share, chances are they could be getting a clip every single year, every single month, until you dispose of that investment. Yep. So, hell, if I'm going to give you advice as a financial planner, which one am I going to give you? The one where I'm getting a trail the whole way. So our point is today, guys, you've got to be really careful about what does that person have what you want who's giving you the advice? Because more often than not, advice is like an asshole, and everyone's got one. Everyone will give you their opinion, and that can, if you're forming financial decisions, like, go to the uncle that has what you want.
Yeah.
Go to the cousin that has what you want. You know, if the cousin's got a great marriage, that's the person you go to say, hey, give me some marriage advice. You don't go to the guy that's been divorced 3 times and single and has got 3 kids to throw. Like, you know, that's not where you get your advice from. So guys, you know, particularly we're property centric people, we see it all the time.
Well, Luke,
and how's it like a lawyer and accountant ruining a deal?
well, like what Luke says, well, who do you trust? I think you've got to look at one, have they done what you're looking to do? So do they have what you want? It's so if you've got someone, that uncle, as you say, who's got 4 properties and you're looking to buy a property, then that's someone I'd be looking towards. Like, you can ask that uncle who's got no property for his opinion, because as you said, everyone's got one, and always listen, because there's always a diamond in the rough with something that may click or something you haven't thought of. So just because they haven't done it doesn't mean their opinion is fucking dirt. It just means listen and also take that on board, and then look at the person who's got the 3 properties. So I think it's just I wouldn't take anyone's opinion as Bible or like as what to do. I think Bible, that's a Kardashian. I've got a younger sister.
What's Bible?
Oh, as like truth, no lie, or something like that.
What do you mean Kardashian?
That's a saying they say. Take it like Bible. I don't think it's a generic. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's generic.
Yeah, so
the Bible's been around longer than the Kardashians.
Not in my generation. So I wouldn't be like, I'm not listening to your opinion. You haven't bought a property. So, but it's one of those, I think, what did you call it, Jeff? Yeah, Eddie expert. So I think it's just be weary. And financial planners, on the other hand, it's like, look at their, like, they probably won't tell you, but look at their wealth. What's their growth? If they're selling you this dream to grow your finances by a certain amount and they've never done it themselves, then like the ears should be like, okay, maybe I should look in, ask someone else and find someone who's done it. Like, personal training is a big one. Like, are you going to ask the person who's 50 what they're doing, or the person who has the physique that you're looking for? But it can also be misleading, as you know, where there's some people who are fucking unhealthy, but they've got a decent looking body. So that's where it can relate to finances and that. You don't know if they've inherited that money. You don't know if they've won on the lottery or they've just worked their ass off, bought and played the long game. I think that's sort of like, that's where we're going, eh, Mark?
Yeah, and look, it's like that iceberg thing. You can see what's above the water, but when taking advice, try to understand what's underneath the water of the iceberg, and that can be your questions. So not the statements coming out of the person's mouth, but the questions that come out of your mouth to that person, and you can find out what's underneath that iceberg, underneath the water on the iceberg. When you get underneath the water of the iceberg and you go, shit, that's impressive, and that's great. But if you look at the qualifications of most people that are teaching lessons, like if you are, and I mean this with the utmost respect, if you are a phenomenal accountant or a phenomenal stockbroker or a phenomenal developer, you're not at TAFE teaching it.
Yeah.
Right? You are, right? And if you're a phenomenal developer or stockbroker or accountant, odds are you probably don't even have any customers because you're doing it with your own money for yourself. That's a person to get good advice from. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, it's one of those things that you just got to be careful, because you'd think, okay, I'm going to university or to TAFE to get the best advice. It's good basic advice, but to take you through life, you know, School of Wogonomics, the guys that have done stuff like that, sometimes you just got to dig a little bit deeper with those questions. So and relating that back to our industry and where do you get good advice from our industry? When you're talking to your real estate agents, make sure they've done what you want. Do you know what I mean? So make sure they've been through that journey while they're giving that advice. Make sure they're seasoned.
I think John McGrath said
advice.
the first thing to do as a real estate agent is to buy and sell a property. If you want to be a successful real estate agent, buy one, sell one. You guys learn from that experience. And that's probably the
big time. But
yeah.
you look at all of our property managers at Novak, like these guys are managing probably $500 million of people's property each.
Yeah.
Our super senior property managers, you know, there's 3 of them. They all have bought property, owned property, rent property, understand property. And I think that that's, you know, for a good property manager, super important. Someone who's 22, 23, I don't think quite will have the empathy and experience to understand what a landlord goes through.
When you're managing a property selling, if you're managing it like it was your own, and if you've always got that ethos and that in the back of the mind going, so if it's something minor, and instead of just sending, I don't know, like if there's something that can be done to save money, you're going, well, if this was my property, would I do this? And if the answer is no, then you should not be doing it for the client. Or when you're selling, or even when you're buying, like there's a lot of time when clients would come to me saying, well, this is my situation. Do you recommend this style of property or this style? And I would think to myself, if I was in that position, this is what you'd be looking for, or this is even when clients, especially when they come to me looking to buy commercial and they may not have as much equity or the higher income, I go, well, put it this way, as much as I'd love to sell you that, but if it is vacant, because commercial is known for long vacancy, could you afford that mortgage for 1 year empty? And if the answer is no, then advise a different style of property. So if you've got that ethos, I think that's the most powerful thing you can do, and people can see through that as well. But I'd love to hear, like, Amal, Todd, Jeff, what do you guys, when you have a great meeting with a buyer or a seller, everything sort of flows, and then the next day, as you call them, Jeff, you get the edit experts. What do you say to sort of, because obviously you can't say, well, your friend doesn't know shit. Like, are there any tips out there that you say, or what do you do? Do you sort of dismiss it?
Where does people go for good advice?
Yeah,
guys, I'd love to hear what our viewers, where they get good advice, because you know what, I guess you've got 2 sets of advice. You've got free advice, and you've got paid advice. But just because it's paid advice, it doesn't particularly mean that it's qualified. Just because it's free advice, it doesn't even more so mean that it's qualified advice. And what I'm saying is, when you're getting your advice, take it if it's for free. Fuck, hey, just take it from everyone. Right? But just from everyone, you know, talk to people, accept people, but qualify it. And look below that, like an iceberg, look below the waterline of the character of the person that's giving the advice, and go, okay, you know what, you're a weapon, and I know you're a weapon because I've known of you for 10 years, and I know you're a good family person. I know you're a person of ethics, and I know you've done plenty of X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and D. Okay, now I'm listening. Now I'm listening.
Perfect.
And I'm still listening, but whether I'm going to adopt on the other free advice that I don't think that, but whether I'm going to execute, implement, and put that in place, I'm wary about it.
Well, it's almost the thing is like where we said, ask your agents, ask other agents. If you're going to buy a property, like the most educated people to compare that property for you will be real estate agents. So go call 3, and if you've got, obviously it's a little bit more difficult if you don't have a rapport with them, but that's why it's important to get to know agents, go to their open, speak to them, have buyer meetings in their office, even if you're only looking to buy one property, because if you're about to do a deal, which is a lot of people's most biggest deal in their life, if you can get some advice from real estate agents who are probably more, well, you'd hope at your barbecue, then that's good to absorb. So use the people at the barbecue, use real estate agents, lawyers. So I think just speak to people. A lot of people try and do deals quietly. I get, and I don't mean it as in not to sort of flaunt that you're buying a property amongst your friends, but like there's definitely people in industries that you can call and say, hey, I'm looking to do this. What do you think? And get their opinion. Like there's a lot of times I would hear like someone would say, oh, I just bought this. And you're like, fuck, really? Like, okay, good. Hold on to it for 50 years and it may be doing something. Or I just did this DA on this property. And you're like, really? Why don't you come to me? It's worth less. And you spend like, So there's a lot of times where you can get advice. So there's no harm in calling.
And a lot of people, yeah, big time. Like a lot of people, even floor plans, people getting stuff, doing a design of a kitchen or design of a new home.
Yeah.
To take that to your real estate agent and say, shit or good, or like or don't like.
Yeah.
It would take 10 minutes of their time to go through those plans, and it would actually one tweak for free advice better.
Yeah.
Better.
Even like yesterday.
Because again,
Sorry.
the architect that's giving the advice could be from Dural, and you're building a house in DY. An agent understands what the market wants. So when you go to sell that place, you've actually built something tailor-made for the local market.
Like yesterday, we had a good client of ours come in. They just secured a site in that sort of Monavale, Warriewood, Newport area for about 15 properties that they can do there. Luxury, and they go, what should we do? Like, we're not from here. You guys know the area. And if anyone's watching knows the Northern Beaches, we're a bubble. And there's total different pockets from your Freshie to Manly, your Bag Seaforth, your DY Narrowena, your Monavale, your Avalon. Like, it's almost like if we there's a lot of different demographics and just stigmas, and people like buy, and it's like, okay, you're only going to have a buyer within X amount of kilometers, and that's what they're selling to buy. Like, that was very smart of them to sort of come in, get a locals agent's knowledge, and just then reform it, because we've seen it, Mark, go wrong. When someone's come in, they think they've done a design or a quality or a fucking color scheme somewhere else, and they go, "I'll work here," and you don't do your research, and it doesn't sell, or they've got to discount it. It's meet with people. At the end of the day, people like to meet.
Get your free advice, guys.
Yep.
Get your free advice. It is, but make sure it is
Qualified. Hey.
from perspective, from people that have what you want. Very, very important. Important with a real estate agent, important with an architect, important with a solicitor. Like, how many times we do a deal with a solicitor or a conveyancer, and the solicitor ruins the deal. And it's like, dude, you are a legal advisor. Like, but commercially, you just killed the deal for the client, because you started giving commercial advice rather than legal advice, and it's just screwed it. So, I
remember when I was doing one transaction,
guys.
they bought a unit, went into the bank. I won't say the bank or the suburb. And it must have been I don't know. Well, it wasn't her first day, because she had a bit. So the buyer goes in there, want to get a valuation, and the bank teller was like, "Oh, these have been valuing really low. Better watch out." And it's like almost torpedoed the deal. So it's one of those things you just got to be very mindful as an agent. There will be people torpedoing deals, even if they don't mean to. Just slip of a tongue. They're not professional. So, but as a buyer, you got to be mindful of that as well. Some people just don't know, so don't take it always that is truth. Anyway,
so true. Any other comments from? No, all good. To attend to feedback.
No.
This Todd, is obviously, guys. Keep an eye on it. Thanks, guys, for your support. Also, guys, keep an eye on our podcast. So we're into series 2 on our podcast, and there's thousands and thousands and thousands of views in there. It's been growing beautifully, and hopefully all that means that we're helping people. And hopefully today we help people. So if you have any friends or family where you think this applies to, share, put their name in there, get it around there. So hopefully we can help more people.
No problem. I think hi from Brisbane. Hey. We'll be live Monday. What day is today? Thursday. We'll be live Saturday, 7:45, with all the hot topics. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope we helped. Thank you.
And Melbourne next week, we're going to be doing some lives from there. Awards night.
Yes, I totally forgot about that. So good.
Yeah,
we're going to win Commercial Agency of Australia.
I've got something new.
Yeah, what have we got?
Yeah. It's Mevo.
Oh, I can't wait for that. Yes, live from Melbourne. Luke, you're generally down there. Hit us up if you're down there.
Melbourne piece of equipment.
I think I'll be there from Wednesday to Saturday. Alrighty, guys. Cheers.
Giddy up.